gonna be like fucking mush.
Do you understand me?
Yep.
Come on, get my rifle.
What's he saying?
He said,
Kill this American.
the money! Blow it!
Let's go, come on!
Come on! Let's do it!
Or I'll put a bullet through her eye. Inside. So why the...
But pay now. Don't.
Last chance. Let the hostage...
Hey,
I'll take the far on the left.
them on. I don't care.
We'll see.
You want the money?
We'll let you go.
It's good, Tank.
Not polite enough?
Shouldn't have...
I'm done with it.
Next time I'll deflate all your balls. I'm not perfect.
For your family, right?
¿Qué haces aquí?
Sueños de Vilena.
¡Tu fuerza divertida!
No way. Just keep playing.
No, I can't leave. Not with you. You go. Please go.
You look nervous. Yeah.
Ryan down.
Mira, algo caliente, mira.
Nobody's gonna hurt you. Get him off. What?
10 minutes.
Mach jetzt weiter.
It's gonna be like fucking mush.
Tough guy! Look!
And I'll catch the break.
Do you understand me?
Yep.
Come on, get my rifle.
Shit! Your way out.
Quieren a matar a este país. Perdóname.
What's he saying?
Kill this American.
The money! Blow it!
Let's go. Come on.
Come on! Let's do it!
Or I'll put a bullet through her eye.
No.
Tied you, didn't they? I'm stupid to surrender to the agency. And then they wanted me out. What? And what about me and you? Inside. So why the...
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the explosive world of the Expendables from 2010, a movie that basically answers the question: what if all your favorite 80s and 90s action heroes decided to have a giant? Beautifully choreographed. Rumble, it's an adrenaline-fueled spectacle featuring a lineup that reads like a Hall of Fame for cinematic tough guys, all directed by Sylvester Stallone. Get ready for non-stop action, high body counts, and enough machismo to power a small country. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not. We kick things off in Somalia, where Barney Ross, played by Sly himself, and his crew, a motley but highly effective bunch including Jason Statham's knife expert Lee Christmas, Jet Li's martial artist Yin Yang, Terry Crews' heavy weapons specialist Hale Caesar, Dolph Lundgren's unpredictable Gunner Jensen, and Randy Couture's brawler Toll Road, are on a hostage rescue mission. Their stealthy approach by boat quickly turns into a cacophony of gunfire and shouts as they breach the pirate-infested cargo ship, the metallic clang of weapons meeting flesh, the rapid-fire bursts of automatic rifles, and the guttural cries of resistance fill the air. It's a beautifully brutal ballet of bullets and fists, setting the tone for what's to come. You just know these guys mean business, and subtlety isn't in their dictionary, nor should it be. Amidst the chaos, we get our first taste of Gunner Jensen's, let's call it enthusiasm. He's a bit of a loose cannon, prone to gratuitous violence, which, while effective, often crosses a line even for these hardened mercenaries. Here, he decides a pirate needs to be introduced to the joys of gravity via a noose, right in front of the horrified hostages. The sudden silence as Gunner tightens the rope is chilling, broken only by the pirate's choked gasps. Barney, with a weary sigh that probably screams "not again," steps in. A terse command cutting through the tension. It's a brief but impactful clash of wills, the crackle of underlying animosity between Barney and Gunner palpable. Lee Christmas, ever the pragmatist, adds a dry comment about efficiency, or lack thereof, further highlighting Gunner's erratic nature. You can almost hear the collective groan from the rest of the team thinking, seriously? Gunner, this scene perfectly illustrates the delicate balance of power and patience Barney maintains to keep his highly volatile, yet undeniably skilled, crew in line. They might be a family, but it's a very dysfunctional one. Back at their private hangar, the buzzing drone of the plane engines winds down, replaced by the heavy thud of boots on the tarmac. The post-mission banter is conspicuously absent for Gunner. The tension that simmered on the ship boils over as Barney pulls Gunner aside for a stern, no-nonsense chat. Barney's voice is low, gravelly, but carries the weight of absolute authority. Gunner, ever defiant, responds with a volatile mix of resentment and desperation, his words a harsh rasp. The clinking of gear being stored in the background provides a metallic counterpoint to their heated exchange. It's clear Gunner's recklessness is a liability, and Barney, for the safety and cohesion of his team, makes the tough call. The thump of Gunner's duffel bag hitting the ground as he's told to leave feels definitive. a stark declaration of consequences. The rest of the team watches, a mix of grim acceptance and quiet relief on their faces, the collective understanding that this decision, while painful, was necessary. It's like kicking out that one friend who always takes competitive a little too far in board games, but with more explosives involved. Soon after, Barney and Lee are summoned to a rather clandestine meeting with a shadowy figure known only as Mr. Church, played by Bruce Willis, because when you need a mysterious, high-level government type, you call Bruce Willis. The scene crackles. With an almost palpable tension, the fluorescent hum of the hidden office barely masking the unease. Church, with his sharp, clipped tones, lays out a seemingly straightforward mission: assassinate a rogue general in the fictional South American island nation of Vilena. He's all business. No pleasantries, his words like perfectly aimed bullets. What's even better, Arnold Schwarzenegger, as Trench Mouser, makes a brief, iconic appearance, exchanging knowing glances and a few terse, wonderfully competitive remarks with Barney. The air practically thickens with the weight of their combined legendary statuses. It's a reunion of titans, a quick, powerful reminder of the gravitas these actors bring. You can almost hear the coaching of action movie history being made right there. The whole exchange is a masterclass in unspoken tension and mutual respect, with a hint of "I'm still bigger than you" undercurrent. Barney, ever the cautious leader, decides to scout Vilena firsthand with Lee. Their rival is shrouded in the muffled lapping of waves against their small boat. Quickly transitioning to the rustle of jungle foliage as they move inland, the island immediately feels oppressively hot and humid, the air thick and heavy. As they observe General Garza's compound, the snap and click of Barney's camera taking incriminating photos are the only sounds breaking the quiet surveillance. They quickly realize Garza isn't the sole antagonist. An American ex-CIA operative, James Munroe, played by Eric Roberts, is pulling the strings, exploiting the island and its people. The sight of armed guards patrolling with a lethargic sense of power, the distant shouts of orders, and the oppressive silence of the villagers paint a grim picture. It's not just a military operation. It's a classic case of corporate greed masquerading as political unrest. Our heroes are effectively walking into a hornet's nest, realizing their initial intel was, shall we say, a bit underdeveloped. Turns out, this simple job just got a whole lot more complicated. Which, let's be honest, is exactly what we signed up for. During their recon, Barney and Lee stumble upon Sandra, General Garza's daughter, a stark contrast to the brutal regime. Her home, though modest, exudes a quiet dignity. A stark counterpoint to the island's harsh exterior, Barney, with his gruff charm, engages her in conversation, and her soft, resigned voice paints a vivid picture of her father's helplessness and Munroe's ruthless control. She describes the clatter of the general's panicked footsteps, the hushed whispers of his fear, and the metallic clink of Munroe's wealth being shipped off the island. Her eyes, filled with a deep sorrow, convey the true extent of the oppression, far more eloquently than any intelligence report ever could. Lee, ever observant, silently clocks the hidden details, the guarded glances, the subtle shifts in her demeanor. This isn't just a military target. It's a person caught in a truly awful situation. And Barney, beneath his hardened exterior, clearly feels a flicker of something more than just professional obligation. It's a moment that adds a crucial layer of moral complexity to an otherwise straightforward blow-stuff-up mission, proving even stone-cold killers have a heart sometimes. Their cover quickly blown, Barney and Lee find themselves in a sudden, brutal firefight. The crack of rifle fire, the explosive thud of grenades, and the yells of Munroe's soldiers instantly shatter the island's fragile peace. The duo, with their incredible agility, move through the chaos like shadows, Lee's knives flashing in rapid, deadly arcs, each strike punctuated by a wet thud. Barney's pistol barks, sending enemies reeling with precise, lethal shots. The air is thick with the scent of gunpowder and dust. They make a desperate dash for their boat, a hail of bullets splashing into the water around them as they speed away. The pier erupts in a massive, fiery explosion, sending splinters and debris raining down, the roar of the blast temporarily deafening. The sheer force of the detonation pushes their boat forward, a truly spectacular exit. But here's the kicker, Sandra chooses to stay behind, knowing her presence would only endanger them further. Her desperate, shouted goodbye is almost lost. In the din of the explosion, a heartbreaking decision amidst the escalating violence. Barney's grimace as he pulls away, leaving her to an uncertain fate, speaks volumes. You can practically taste the sea spray mixed with the lingering smoke, asterisk back on the plane. The previous scene's adrenaline rush gives way to a heavy, brooding silence. Barney, usually unflappable, sits alone, staring at a small, crumpled photo of Sandra. The dim cabin lights cast long shadows, reflecting the turmoil etched on his face. The soft hum of the plane's engines is the only sound, a stark contrast to the explosions they just left behind. He clenches his jaw, the muzzle ticking, his eyes a distant, troubled gaze. It's a rare moment of vulnerability for the hardened mercenary. You can practically hear the gears turning in his head. The conflict between professional detachment and a nascent sense of moral responsibility. Lee Christmas, ever perceptive, observes him from a distance, understanding the weight of the decision Barney made. It's clear this mission isn't just about money anymore, it's personal. This scene really underscores that even the toughest action heroes aren't immune to a little bit of emotional baggage, especially when they leave someone good behind. Like when you accidentally leave your favorite snack at home, the regret is real. In a surprisingly somber moment, Toll Road, usually a mountain of quiet strength, recounts a harrowing experience of being waterboarded during a past mission. The scene is stripped down, just the guys in the dimly lit plane, the only sound the distant drone of the engines. His voice is hushed, almost a whisper, as he describes the suffocating rush of water, the sheer terror of not being able to breathe, the chilling feeling of drowning. The collective silence of the team is heavy, each man absorbing the brutal reality of his words. You can almost feel the cold dread of the water, the desperate struggle for air, the profound vulnerability. It's a stark reminder of the dark underbelly of their profession, the scars that aren't visible. This moment adds unexpected depth to Toll Road, showing that beneath the brawn and bravado, there are very real, very painful memories. It's a poignant, humanizing touch in a movie filled with larger-than-life characters, reminding us that even action heroes have their demons, and perhaps a slightly less conventional spa experience in their past. For a brief, almost comedic interlude, we see Hale Caesar attempting to navigate the treacherous waters of a first date in a diner. It's gloriously awkward. The clatter of plates, the hum of fluorescent lights, and the polite but clearly bewildered expressions of his date paint a picture of domesticity that seems utterly foreign to Caesar. He, a man whose daily routine involves automatic weapons and controlled explosions, is visibly uncomfortable with small talk. His responses are clipped, his powerful hands fidget nervously, and his eyes dart around as if expecting an ambush from the dessert menu. The contrast between his professional demeanor and his dating persona is laugh-out-loud funny. You can almost hear him mentally calculating the blast radius of a dropped fork. It's a charmingly human moment that reminds us these guys are still trying to connect with the civilian world, however unsuccessfully. It's like watching a grizzly bear try to use chopsticks. Admirable effort, questionable results, and a lot of potential collateral damage. Honestly, the explosion-filled action scenes are probably less stressful for him. Barney then visits his old friend and former mercenary, Tool, played by the legendary Mickey Rourke, who now runs a tattoo parlor. The buzzing of the tattoo gun, the faint smell of antiseptic, and the low rumble of Tool's philosophical musings fill the air. It's a beautifully raw, intimate scene. As Tool inks a new design onto Barney's back, his gruff voice offers insights into the heavy toll their profession takes, the emotional scars that run deeper than any tattoo. Barney, stripped bare both literally and figuratively, listens intently, his own weariness evident. The conversation is punctuated by the rhythmic thrum of the needle, a steady, almost meditative sound. Tool describes the chilling feeling of taking a life, the cold weight of the consequences, and the quiet despair that can follow. He's a man who's seen it all and carries the wisdom of 1,000 battles. He acts as a moral compass, urging Barney to follow his gut, especially concerning Sandra. It's a moment of profound reflection, reminding us that these hardened warriors are not immune to introspection, even if their therapy involves needles and existential dread. While Barney contemplates, we cut to Yin Yang, already a blur of motion, meticulously honing his martial arts skills in their training area. The crisp swish of air as his fists and feet slice through it, the soft thud of impact as he connects with a heavy bag, and his focused grunts are the only sounds. His movements are fluid, precise, a deadly dance of speed and power. Each strike, each block, each kick is executed with an almost surgical accuracy, a testament to years of rigorous discipline. The scene highlights his incredible agility and lethal effectiveness in close-quarters combat, proving that sometimes less bulk equals more devastation. He's like a human whirlwind, turning gravity and momentum into pure, unadulterated force. You can almost feel the air pressure change with each of his lightning-fast movements. It's a spectacular display of his unique contribution to the team, a quiet reminder that while others bring the big guns, Yang brings the pain up close and personal. He's probably thinking, if only I had a few more inches, I could reach that top shelf. Toole's words resonate deeply with Barney, igniting a renewed sense of purpose. The silent determination on his face is palpable as he begins to meticulously assemble his weapons and gear. The sharp click of magazines slotting into rifles, the metallic clatter of knives being sharpened, and the quiet rustle of tactical vests being donned fill the space. It's a symphony of preparation, a warrior preparing for battle with unwavering resolve. He doesn't need to say a word. His actions speak volumes. He's going back for Sandra, consequences be damned. The mission has officially shifted from a paid contract to a personal crusade, which, as we know, always makes for the best kind of action movie. The underlying motivation is no longer just money, but a flicker of moral rectitude, a desire to right a wrong. This is the moment the Expendables transition from simple mercenaries to something a little more heroic, even if they deny it vehemently. Barney's got that look in his eye, the one that says, someone's about to have a very bad day, and it's not going to be me, just as the team is preparing to leave. Gunner, because of course he does, reappears, causing more chaos and attempting to rejoin. His frantic, desperate pleas are mixed with volatile threats, creating a highly charged atmosphere. The scene crackles with unpredictable energy. Lee Christmas, ever the cool head with deadly precision, steps up. Without a word, he levels his weapon and, with a sharp crack, fires. The bullet thuds into Gunner's shoulder, a painful but non-lethal warning shot that sends him sprawling to the ground with a grunt of pain. The surprise of the shot, the sudden silence it creates, and Gunner's stunned realization of his predicament are perfectly executed. It's a harsh but necessary reminder of team discipline. Instead of being left behind, Gunner is now forced to come along, albeit subdued and slightly injured, adding an interesting dynamic to the team. It's like when your annoying cousin crashes Thanksgiving, but then you realize he's actually pretty good at carving the turkey after a stern talking to. And a bullet wound. Just a flesh wound, of course. With the team reassembled, albeit with the limping Gunner now under tighter supervision, the atmosphere shifts to one of grim determination. The rhythmic thrum of their customized plane's engines comes to life, a powerful roar that signifies impending action. Each mercenary methodically checks their gear, the metallic clatter of weapons and equipment a reassuring soundtrack to their preparations. There's a quiet camaraderie, a shared understanding of the dangers ahead, solidified by years of fighting side by side. Hale Caesar meticulously loads his massive shotgun, the deep click of the shells echoing. Toll Road checks his demolitions kit with focused intensity. Yin Yang stretches, his movements fluid and precise. Lee Christmas sharpens his knives with an almost meditative grace. Barney, now resolute, pilots the plane, his gaze fixed on the horizon, ready for the storm they are about to unleash. The cabin buzzes with unspoken anticipation, a calm before the very loud, very destructive storm. They're not just a team. They're a finely tuned machine, ready to unleash maximum mayhem, because, let's be honest, that's what they do best. The mighty custom plane cuts through the air, a shadow passing over the lush, oppressive jungle canopy of Vilena. The hum of the engines is now a deep, resonant growl, a harbinger of the chaos to come. The scene is shot from above, showcasing the vast, unforgiving landscape, emphasizing the isolation and desperation of their mission. As they get closer, the distant outline of Garza's heavily fortified compound becomes visible, a stark, menacing silhouette against the tropical sky. The camera pans across the faces of the team members, each etched with a different shade of anticipation, grim resolve, coiled readiness, and perhaps a touch of can't wait to blow something up. The rustle of their tactical gear, the barely audible clicks of safety catches being released, and the sharp intake of breath before battle creates a tense, electric atmosphere. This isn't a recon mission anymore. It's an invasion. They're coming in hot, guns blazing, ready to paint the island red, metaphorically speaking, of course. It's like a really aggressive vacation, where the only souvenirs are bullet casings, asterisk. Upon landing, the jungle erupts into a symphony of destruction. The first contact with Garza's forces is immediate and brutal, a deafening crackle of automatic rifle fire cutting through the humid air. The Expendables, moving with practiced efficiency, become a whirlwind of coordinated chaos. Bullets whiz past, tearing through foliage with a harsh rip. Hale Caesar unleashes a torrent of lead from his AA-12, the rhythmic thud-thud-thud of the shotgun punctuated by the satisfying screams of his targets. Lee Christmas's knives fly with lethal grace, each thrown weapon finding its mark with a sickening thwack. Yin Yang is a blur of martial arts fury, his kicks and punches connecting with bone-jarring force. Toll Road uses the environment to his advantage, setting off small, precise explosions that send enemies flying with a satisfying boom. Barney, leading the charge, fires his pistol with deadly accuracy, his movements economical and lethal. Gunner, despite his injury, finds his rhythm, his machine gun roaring. It's a beautifully choreographed ballet of mayhem, a visceral display of overwhelming firepower and skill against a much larger, but less experienced force. The smell of gunpowder and burning leaves hangs heavy in the air. This isn't just a firefight. It's a declaration of war, Expendables style. As the Expendables unleash their brand of justice, we cut to a harrowing scene. Sandra, held captive, subjected to the brutal interrogation tactics of Munroe's sadistic enforcers. The chilling silence of her cell is broken by the harsh, clipped questions of her captors and her own muffled cries of pain. The scene is devoid of a grand soundtrack, emphasizing the stark, personal horror. The glint of metal instruments, the raw fear in her eyes, and the oppressive atmosphere reinforce the stakes. She's suffering, and her plight fuels Barney's desperate urgency. This isn't just a mission anymore. It's a race against time, a personal vendetta against the monstrous Munroe. It's a stark reminder of the innocent lives caught in the crossfire of political corruption and mercenary ruthlessness. Her resilience, even under immense pressure, is inspiring, but her vulnerability is deeply unsettling. You can almost feel the chill of the concrete floor and the weight of her despair. It's a truly gut-wrenching moment, making the audience crave Munroe's imminent comeuppance even more. Honestly, this guy makes even Gunner look like a sweetheart. The main event begins, the assault on Garza's heavily fortified palace. The roar of explosions as the gates are breached is deafening, sending shrapnel and dust flying. The Expendables charge in, a tidal wave of firepower. The palace courtyard transforms into an absolute war zone. The rapid-fire clang of bullets ricocheting off stone, the percussive thud of heavy machine guns, and the screams of Munroe's panicking soldiers create an overwhelming symphony of destruction. Hale Caesar lays down a suppressing fire that could level a small building, his powerful frame shaking with the recoil of his monstrous weapon. Lee Christmas is a blur of motion, dispatching enemies with precise, deadly efficiency, his knives a constant metallic whir. Toll Road sets off strategically placed charges, turning concrete into dust with powerful booms. Yin Yang performs gravity-defying maneuvers, his kicks and punches echoing with brutal impact. Barney, a force of nature, leads the charge, his movements a blend of tactical brilliance and raw power. Gunner, now fully redeemed, provides relentless cover fire, his maniacal grin a testament to his renewed purpose. It's an unrelenting barrage of action, pure, unadulterated cinematic violence that leaves no stone unturned, and probably very few guards standing. The sheer scale of the chaos is astounding, a genuine feast for action movie connoisseurs. It's like a fireworks display, but with much more lead and much less glitter inside the palace. Amidst the relentless storm of bullets and explosions, General Garza, once a figure of authority, is now a pathetic, desperate wreck. He stumbles through the opulent but now crumbling corridors, his panic palpable. The rapid slap of his feet on the marble floor echoes his fear, a sharp contrast to the distant thunder of the battle. He's running for his life, his uniform disheveled, his eyes wide with terror, the metallic clang of the Expendables advance growing ever closer. The scene captures his utter breakdown, a man realizing too late that he's merely a pawn in Munroe's game. The luxurious tapestries and gilded furniture that once signified his power now seem to mock his helplessness. He's no longer a general. He's just another victim running from a reckoning he never anticipated. His frantic whispers to his remaining guards, urging them to hold the line, are swallowed by the escalating sounds of destruction. It's a quick, telling glimpse into the unraveling of a regime, a reminder that absolute power eventually crumbles, especially when a bunch of muscle-bound mercenaries show up. You can almost hear the faint yippee-ki-yay in the distance, just as Garza thinks he might find a moment of respite. Munroe, the true puppet master, emerges from the shadows. The scene is chillingly quiet for a moment, the distant sounds of battle temporarily muted, focusing solely on this act of pure evil. Munroe, with a cold, calculating gaze, delivers a terse, dismissive line before raising his pistol. The sharp, decisive crack of the gunshot reverberates through the corridor, instantly silencing Garza. The general slumps to the ground, a surprised gasp escaping his lips, a lifeless thud as he hits the floor. It's a brutal, callous execution, a clear declaration of Munroe's absolute ruthlessness and utter contempt for anyone in his way. This act of betrayal instantly elevates Munroe to a truly despicable villain, ensuring that when Barney finally gets his hands on him, the audience will be cheering. It's a classic villain move, tie up loose ends by making them, well, dead ends. He's not just a bad guy. He's a great jerk, a real piece of work, if you catch my drift. Definitely not someone you'd invite to your next potluck. Amidst the crumbling palace, Barney finally comes face to face with James Munroe. The scene crackles with a raw, unspoken tension, the air thick with the scent of smoke and shattered plaster. The two men, a force of justice and an embodiment of greed, exchange loaded words, their voices low but carrying immense weight. Barney's gravelly tones are laced with righteous anger, his eyes fixed on Munroe with unwavering intensity. Munroe, ever the smug, arrogant villain, responds with sneering contempt, his words dripping with condescension. The distant sounds of battle provide a grim backdrop to their personal confrontation. The tension is almost unbearable, a standoff before the inevitable, bone-crushing climax. It's the moment we've been waiting for, the hero facing his true adversary. The kind of scene where you can almost hear the movie score swelling dramatically. You know it's not going to end with a handshake and a polite apology. No, this is going to be messy, bloody, and incredibly satisfying. The stage is set for a truly epic beatdown, and frankly, Munroe had it coming from the moment he thought he could outsmart an Expendable, with Munroe in their sights and Sanders' location pinpointed. The Expendables execute a tactical split. Barney, Toll Road, and Hale Caesar continued to lay waste to Munroe's remaining forces, drawing fire and securing the path, their weapons roaring with relentless fury. The thunder of their gunfire and the concussive force of explosions create a chaotic diversion. Meanwhile, Lee Christmas and Yin Yang, a dynamic duo of speed and precision, break away to infiltrate the deeper levels of the palace, their objective, Sandra. Their movements are swift, almost silent, a stark contrast to the cacophony they leave behind. The rustle of their clothes, the soft thud of their boots, and the quiet clicks of their weapons create a sense of focused urgency. This strategic division highlights the unique skills of each team member and amplifies the overall intensity of the climax. It's a calculated gamble, trusting each part of the team to handle their specific, incredibly dangerous tasks. It's like a well-oiled machine where every cog, no matter how small or deadly, knows its role. And in this case, the cogs are exploding. Lee Christmas and Yin Yang descend into the palace's labyrinthine corridors, where they unleash a breathtaking, almost poetic display of close-quarters combat. The narrow, echoing hallways amplify every sound, the rapid whoosh of a kick, the sickening crack of bone, the metallic rasp of Lee's knives, and the choked gasps of their overwhelmed adversaries. Yin Yang, a whirlwind of acrobatic strikes, performs gravity-defying maneuvers, his body a blur of controlled aggression. Lee, with his signature blend of speed and brutality, dispatches enemies with surgical precision, his knives finding their mark with chilling accuracy. It's a seamless blend of martial arts mastery and lethal blade work, a beautifully brutal ballet of destruction. The scene is a masterclass in hand-to-hand combat choreography, each movement economical and devastating. They move as one, anticipating each other's moves, a perfectly synchronized unit of pure, unadulterated violence. You can practically feel the impact of every blow, the sharp rush of air as a fist narrowly misses, the chilling finality of a knife finding its mark. This is why you pay for the big screens, folks. This is pure, unadulterated action hero glory. It's like watching a deadly, well-rehearsed dance, where the choreography involves broken bones and a lot of surprised grunts. While the others are busy with more direct forms of negotiation, Toll Road is in his element, meticulously wiring the palace for its grand finale. The precise, rhythmic click of detonators, the quiet hum of electrical currents, and the careful placement of explosive charges create a symphony of impending doom. He moves with a focused intensity, his large hands surprisingly deft as he connects wires and sets timers. The sweat on his brow, the grim set of his jaw, and the quiet dedication to his craft underscore the gravity of his task. Each charge placed is a promise of demolition, a guarantee that this corrupt fortress will soon be nothing but rubble. The subtle tension builds with every connection, every click, every moment leading up to the inevitable. It's the kind of meticulous work that demands absolute calm and precision, a stark contrast to the chaotic gunfights raging elsewhere. You can almost feel the potential energy stored in those unassuming blocks of C4. He's basically the architect of destruction, and he's very, very good at his job. Like a particularly destructive interior decorator, but with more boom, Hale Caesar, a walking arsenal, takes center stage with his monstrous A12 automatic shotgun. The sound of it firing is a deep, guttural roar, a percussive thunderclap that sends enemy soldiers scattering. Each pull of the trigger unleashes a devastating torrent of shells, tearing through concrete and flesh alike with shocking force. The sheer power of his weapon, the rhythmic thud-thud-thud of its recoil, and the satisfying screams of his targets create a spectacle of raw, overwhelming firepower. He moves through the palace like a wrecking ball, a one-man army clearing entire corridors with brutal efficiency. The flash of muzzle fire illuminates his determined face, his muscles straining with the effort. It's a primal, visceral display of force, a testament to the effectiveness of simply having a bigger gun than everyone else. The ground practically trembles with each blast. You can almost feel the concussive force in your chest. This is why you bring Hale Caesar to a fight. He's not subtle, but he is undeniably effective, and he always brings enough boom for everyone. He's basically the walking embodiment of the phrase, when in doubt, add more dagger. Through the smoke and rubble, Barney, now joined by Lee and Yin Yang, finally reaches Sandra. The scene is dimly lit, dusty, and fraught with tension. The muffled sounds of the ongoing battle outside, the distant rumble of the palace slowly crumbling, and the quiet relief in Sandra's voice as she sees her rescuers create a powerful contrast. Barney, with a rare tenderness, quickly works to free her, the metallic clink of the chains being broken a satisfying sound. Lee stands guard, his eyes scanning for any immediate threats, his presence a silent shield. Yin Yang, ever alert, moves like a whisper, covering their escape. The air is thick with the scent of fear, dust, and a potent mix of hope and urgency. It's a pivotal emotional beat amidst the overwhelming action, a reaffirmation of Barney's personal commitment. Her weary but grateful glance at Barney speaks volumes, confirming his decision to return was the right one. This isn't just about completing a mission, it's about saving a life, proving that even a hardened mercenary can have a hero's heart, especially when the person is being treated so poorly. It's a good thing they rescued her, because Munroe probably would have offered her a discount on his next terrible real estate venture. The moment arrives, Barney Ross versus James Munroe. A personal grudge match that ignites with raw fury amidst the crumbling palace. The scene is stripped of external chaos, focusing solely on the two men. The guttural grunts of exertion, the sickening thud of fists connecting with flesh, and the sharp crack of bones are amplified, making every blow feel visceral and impactful. Barney, fueled by righteous anger and a desperate desire for justice, unleashes a torrent of powerful punches, his movements a blend of street-fighting brutality and professional precision. Munroe, surprisingly resilient and utterly ruthless, fights back with cunning ferocity, his blows carrying a malicious intent. The metallic clang of a pipe or debris being used as a makeshift weapon adds to the desperate nature of the fight. Dust and debris rain down as the battle intensifies, each impact shaking the very foundations of the crumbling structure. It's a brutal, no-holds-barred brawl, a primal clash between good and evil, with no room for subtlety or finesse. The air is thick with the smell of sweat and impending defeat for one of them. You can practically feel the reverberations of every punch, the burning sting of adrenaline. This isn't just a fight, it's a statement, a final, definitive answer to the question of who truly rules this island. Spoiler alert, it's not the guy who sells out entire countries. In a crucial moment of redemption, Gunner Jensen, positioned high above the melee, unleashes a torrent of precise sniper fire and heavy machine gun bursts. The sharp crack of his rifle, the distant whiz of bullets finding their marks, and the satisfying thud of distant targets falling punctuate the cacophony below. His maniacal grin, now turned towards the enemy, indicates he's finally back where he belongs, channelizing his aggression for the team's benefit. He's providing crucial cover, turning the tide of battle with well-placed shots that pick off Munroe's remaining forces, allowing the others to focus on their objectives. The concussive thud of his machine gun and the almost surgical precision of his sniper shots are a testament to his undeniable skill. This isn't just a combat scene, it's a full-circle moment for Gunner, proving that even the most volatile members of a team can find their place and contribute when it truly matters. It's a noisy, explosive, and ultimately satisfying redemption arc for the character we all secretly rooted for. Despite his initial, shall we say, personality quirks, he's like that unruly pet that finally learns to fetch. But the fetching involves high-caliber rounds. As Munroe's reign of terror definitively ends, the true chaos begins. Toll Road's meticulously placed explosives ignite, transforming the opulent palace into a crumbling inferno. The earth-shattering roar of successive explosions, the ground shaking beneath their feet, and the terrifying shriek of collapsing concrete and twisting metal create an overwhelming sensory assault. The Expendables, with Sandra in tow, make a desperate, frantic dash for safety, dodging falling debris and navigating through choking clouds of dust and smoke. The sound of their hurried footsteps on crumbling stone, their gasps for breath, and the thunderous echoes of the collapsing structure add to the palpable urgency. It's a heart-pounding race against time, a final, explosive farewell to Vilena's oppressive past. The sheer scale of the destruction is immense, a cathartic release of pent-up anger and a literal cleansing of the island. You can almost feel the heat from the fires and the concussive force of the blasts. This is the ultimate walk away from an explosion without looking moment, extended to an entire team, an entire building. A truly glorious display of action cinema, proving sometimes the best solution is just to blow everything up. In the aftermath, amidst the still smoldering ruins of the palace, Barney shares a poignant farewell with Sandra. The distant, mournful cries of birds and the soft rustle of wind through the damaged trees create a solemn atmosphere. Sandra, no longer a victim but a symbol of resilience, chooses to stay on Vilena, dedicated to rebuilding her home and guiding her people towards a brighter future. Her voice, though soft, carries the weight of newfound resolve. Barney, with a rare, gentle expression, accepts her decision, a silent nod of respect passing between them. The emotional depth here, a quiet understanding and mutual admiration, is powerful. It's not just a goodbye, it's a passing of the torch, a recognition of her strength, and the island's potential for healing. The faint scent of smoke still lingers in the air, a reminder of the recent chaos, but also of the hope for a fresh start. This scene adds a touch of bittersweet humanity to the brutal action, proving that even after all the explosions, there's always a glimmer of hope. It's like cleaning up after a massive party, messy, but totally worth it for the good memories and the lack of corrupt regimes. Back on their plane, the Expendables are in celebratory spirits. The hum of the engines is now a comfortable, familiar drone, accompanying their boisterous laughter and good-natured jabs. The clink of bottles, the hearty thud of backslaps, and the roar of their collective mirth fill the cabin. Gunner, fully reinstated and surprisingly jovial, trades insults with Lee, their words sharp but friendly, their rivalry now a source of amusement. Hale Caesar tells a loud, rambling story that elicits guffaws from everyone. Toll Road offers a dry, witty comment that cuts through the noise, showing his subtle humor. Yin Yang smiles, a rare but warm sight, clearly enjoying the camaraderie. Barney, a contented smirk playing on his lips, pilots the plane, looking back at his crew with a deep sense of satisfaction. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph and brotherhood, a testament to their unbreakable bond. The tension of the mission is gone, replaced by the easygoing rhythm of a job well done. You can almost taste the celebratory drinks and feel the warmth of their shared victory. This is what these guys live for, the thrill of the fight, the camaraderie of the team, and the sheer joy of blowing things up responsibly. Well, as responsibly as possible for this crew, the movie winds down at Tool's tattoo parlor, now transformed into a makeshift bar for the celebration. The clinking of glasses, the lively chatter, and the soulful strumming of a guitar create a warm, inviting atmosphere. Tool, with a proud glint in his eye, unveils his latest creation, a magnificent new tattoo adorning his arm, a symbol of their shared journey, perhaps even commemorating the Vilena mission. The team gathers around, their hoots and cheers filling the air as they admire the intricate artwork. It's a moment of quiet reflection, punctuated by shared laughter and genuine affection. Each scar, each tattoo, tells a story, and this one, in particular, speaks volumes about loyalty, sacrifice, and the enduring bond of brotherhood. The clatter of billiard balls and the distant roar of a motorcycle add to the authentic dive bar ambience. It's a perfect capstone, a reminder that for these men, the mission is never just about the money. It's about the connection, the family they've forged in fire. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good tattoo reveal? Especially when it's by Mickey Rourke. As the final notes of the score begin to swell, we see Lee, Gunner, and Toll Road roaring off into the night on their motorcycles. A triumphant, almost cinematic, image of freedom and continued adventure. The powerful rumble of their engines, the rush of wind, and the receding lights of the city underscore their boundless spirit. It's a perfect encapsulation of the Expendables ethos, always moving forward, always ready for the next challenge, always together. The fade to black as they disappear into the distance leaves us with a sense of anticipation for what comes next. Because you just know this crew is never truly retired. This film, with its high-octane action and larger-than-life characters, reminds us of the thrill of pushing boundaries and the strength found in unwavering loyalty. It's a celebration of heroism, albeit a gritty, explosive kind, and the idea that even the roughest individuals can fight for something greater than themselves. The enduring spirit of teamwork and courage, even in the face of impossible odds, shines through every explosion and every punch. It truly shows that with dedication and a whole lot of firepower, anything is possible, reminding us to always keep fighting for what we believe in. Stay awesome, folks! Today, we're diving headfirst into the explosive world of The Expendables, the 2010 movie that brought together more action legends than a Comic-Con after-party. We kick things off with a bang, as our titular crew of hardened mercenaries Barney Ross, Lee Christmas, and the unhinged Gunner Jensen are already mid-mission, storming a pirate-infested ship off the coast of Somalia. Their objective? Rescue some poor souls held hostage by some very bad dudes. It's a classic setup, delivering exactly what it promises, a high-octane, no-holds-barred spectacle right from the jump. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not. As the team breaches the ship, the air fills with the sharp crack of automatic weapons and the guttural shouts of combatants. Lee Christmas, a master of blades, carves through opponents with a silent, deadly grace, his knives a blur of metallic glint. But then there's Gunner, whose idea of tactical advantage seems to be fire everything everywhere. The spray of his bullets pings dangerously close to Barney, highlighting the volatile tension brewing within the team. The shouts of the pirates turn to desperate gurgles as the Expendables systematically clear the ship, the heavy thud of bodies hitting the deck a grim testament to their efficiency. Despite Gunner's antics, the hostages are secured, signaling another successful, albeit chaotic, mission for the world's most dangerous contractors. Post-mission. Our crew retreats to their unique sanctuary, Tool's dimly lit, slightly grimy tattoo parlor, which doubles as their operational HQ and a surprisingly comfy man cave. The air hums with the low buzz of a tattoo gun as Tool, the team's philosophical and darkly witty liaison, works on a client. Barney, ever the stoic leader, observes the chaos with a wary eye, occasionally dropping a dry remark. Lee Christmas is having it out with his girlfriend, Lacey, in a tense exchange that crackles with unspoken emotions and the clatter of thrown objects. Meanwhile, Yin Yang, the agile martial artist, spars playfully, the quick snaps of his movements a stark contrast to Toll Road's more ponderous, thoughtful demeanor as he recounts a recent near-death experience. Hale Caesar, the team's heavy weapons specialist, just looks generally imposing. It's a peek into the brotherhood, filled with casual insults and genuine camaraderie, proving even the toughest mercenaries have a soft spot. Somewhere under all that denim and leather. Barney is summoned to a clandestine meeting in a dark, atmospheric church because where else would a shadowy government handler meet a Black Ops mercenary? Across a heavy wooden table sits the enigmatic Mr. Church, a man whose smile could barely crack a walnut, played by Bruce Willis. And then, in a blink-can-do-miss-it cameo, Trench Mouser, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, slides in, adding an extra layer of weight. Is this real life? To the scene, Church offers Barney a mission: assassinate a rogue general named Garza, who's been causing havoc on the fictional island of Vilena. It's a high-stakes job, and the casual way these legends discuss geopolitics over what looks like very stale coffee is a masterclass in grizzled nonchalance. The metallic echo of their voices in the cavernous church underscores the gravitas of the task, returning to the familiar clatter and hum of Tool's parlor. Barney lays out the mission details for the team. Maps of Vilena are unfurled, covered with strategic markings and potential infiltration points. The low murmur of discussion fills the room, interspersed with the occasional dry quip from Toll Road or a sharp, insightful observation from Yin Yang. However, Gunner's presence remains a ticking time bomb. His comments are increasingly erratic, his movements agitated, and the predatory gleam in his eye suggests a man teetering on the edge. The other team members exchange worried glances, the silent "what are we going to do about him?" hanging heavy in the air. Barney, ever the pragmatist, knows that for a mission of this magnitude, loose cannons are a liability, not an asset. The subtle clink of a beer bottle against the table punctuates the rising tension. With the mission decided, Barney and Christmas embark on a recon mission to Vilena, cutting through the tropical air in their trusty seaplane. The engine's deep thrum is the only sound as they prepare their gear, checking weapons and ammunition with practiced ease. The vast blue of the ocean stretches beneath them, serene yet hiding the tumultuous island they're headed towards. Barney, his face etched with a familiar weariness, discusses the intelligence gathered on General Garza, a brutal dictator propped up by the shadowy XCI operative James Munroe. The metallic click of a rifle bolt being checked underscores the grim reality of their target. Christmas, ever observant, listens intently, his own concerns about the mission and their current volatile teammate evident in his quiet demeanor. They know this isn't just another job. It's a descent into a hornet's nest. Their seaplane touches down softly on the water, sending ripples across the calm surface, a stark contrast to the unrest they are about to encounter. Barney and Christmas make their way ashore, quickly shedding their combat gear for more civilian attire, attempting to blend into the impoverished streets of Vilena. The air is thick with the scent of tropical humidity and desperation. The hushed whispers of the locals and the wary glances they cast round them speak volumes about the oppressive regime under General Garza. The dull thud of heavy boots from patrolling soldiers echoes through the narrow alleys, a constant reminder of the tyranny. Barney's hardened eyes take in the squalor, the fear etched on the faces of the villagers, a silent promise forming in his mind that this mission is about more than just a paycheck. This is where the Expendables motto of "pay us to blow stuff up" gets a moral upgrade. Deep within the labyrinthine alleys, Barney and Christmas finally locate their contact, Sandra, General Garza's disillusioned daughter. In a small, dimly lit hut, the air thick with unspoken tension, she reveals the true horror of her father's reign and, more importantly, the puppet master pulling his strings, James Munroe. Her voice is a low, urgent murmur as she describes the abuses, the suffering, and Munroe's ruthless exploitation of Vilena's resources. The soft scrape of their boots on the dirt floor and the rustle of maps as Barney spreads them out are the only sounds interrupting her grim narrative. Barney, usually unflappable, feels a prickle of something akin to genuine concern. He came for a job. He found a humanitarian crisis. The raw honesty in Sandra's voice cuts through his mercenary cynicism, adding a new layer of complexity to their already dangerous task, hiding in the shadows. Barney and Christmas are forced to witness the chilling brutality of Garza's regime firsthand. They observe a public execution, a stark display of power designed to instill fear. The terrified cries of the villagers are cut short by the sharp crack of rifle fire. Munroe, standing imperiously beside General Garza, watches with a cold, detached gaze, his presence amplifying the cruelty. Payne, his hulking enforcer, looms menacingly nearby, a silent threat. The scene paints a vivid picture of the sheer evil they are up against, a chilling reminder that their targets aren't just bad guys, they're truly monstrous. The metallic smell of spent gunpowder seems to hang heavy in the humid air, even from their distance, a grim scent that solidifies Barney's resolve. This isn't just about the mission anymore. It's personal. As Barney and Christmas try to exfiltrate Vilena, the jungle suddenly erupts with gunfire. It's an ambush. The sharp whistle of bullets zipping past their heads forces them to dive for cover, the soft earth cushioning their fall only momentarily. But the real shock comes when, amidst the chaos, Gunner Jensen emerges, not as an ally, but fighting alongside Munroe's men. The dull thud of a grenade landing nearby and its subsequent explosion are almost less impactful than the cold, hard reality of Gunner's betrayal. Barney's face tightens with a mixture of shock and grim understanding. The volatile team member they kept on a leash has now fully slipped his collar, joining the enemy in a hail of gunfire. The metallic clatter of their own weapons returning fire is tinged with a bitterness that only treachery can bring. The ambush quickly escalates into a full-blown firefight, the jungle canopy echoing with the symphony of destruction. Automatic weapons roar, punctuated by the deep boom of grenade launchers. Barney and Christmas, caught between Munroe's forces and the sheer shock of Gunner's betrayal, fight with desperate ferocity. Lee Christmas, a whirlwind of blades and swift kicks, disarms and neutralizes foes in a dizzying display, the soft walk of his knives finding their mark. Barney, ever the strategist, knows they can't win a prolonged engagement here. With a flick of a switch, pre-planted explosives detonate, sending massive plumes of fire and debris skyward, the ground trembling under the sheer force of the blast. The deafening roar of the explosions, followed by the clatter of falling rubble, provides the perfect chaotic cover for their escape. It's not subtle, but it's effective because subtlety isn't exactly in the Expendables' job description. As explosions rip through the jungle, Barney and Christmas scramble into their seaplane, the engine sputtering to life with a hopeful roar. Bullets ping off the hull with a sharp, metallic clang, and the water around them erupts with splashes from enemy fire. It's a miracle they haven't been turned into Swiss cheese. Barney, gripping the controls, pushes the throttles forward, coaxing every ounce of power from the aircraft. The seaplane skims across the water, slowly gaining speed, leaving a frothy wake behind it. Christmas, reloading his weapon, watches their pursuers shrink in the distance, the shouts of the soldiers fading into the background. The collective sigh of relief, if mercenaries were given to such things, is almost palpable as they finally lift into the air, the humid island air giving way to the open sky. Another day, another successful, albeit incredibly messy, escape from death's door, back in the relative safety of their home base. The silence is almost deafening after the cacophony of Vilena. Barney, usually unflappable, finds himself deeply troubled. The image of Sandra, her plea for help, and the sheer brutality of Munroe's regime are seared into his mind. He sits alone, the weight of his decision pressing down on him. The gentle creak of the floorboards the only sound in his contemplation. His mercenary code dictates that a job is a job, but something about Sandra's plight has chipped away at his hardened exterior. The thrum of distant city life outside his window seems irrelevant compared to the suffering on that island. The cold reality of leaving her to face Munroe's cruelty clashes violently with his long-held belief in detachment. It's a classic action movie hero dilemma. Take the money and run, or risk it all for a cause. Decisions, the tension that had been simmering between Barney and Gunner finally boils over. Barney confronts Gunner, his voice low and firm, demanding an explanation for his treachery. Gunner, however, is unrepentant, his eyes wild and defiant. The air crackles with unspoken threats and the metallic scent of impending violence. The confrontation quickly escalates, a blur of fists and shouts, culminating in Barney reluctantly, but decisively, drawing his weapon. The sharp crack of the pistol is almost swallowed by the sudden silence that follows, as Gunner crumples to the ground, shot, but not fatally. It's a harsh, necessary act, a clear message that betrayal has consequences, even for family. The thud of Gunner's body hitting the floor is a somber punctuation to the end of their partnership, a sound that resonates with loss and regret. Even mercenaries have relationship woes, and Lee Christmas is no exception. We see him in a heated, heart-wrenching argument with his girlfriend, Lacey, in the confined space of a car. The rhythmic thrum of the engine is almost drowned out by their raised voices, each word laced with frustration and pain. Lacey's complaints echo through the vehicle, his dangerous job, his emotional distance, the constant threats that hover over their lives. Christmas, usually so composed in battle, is visibly shaken, his face etched with a vulnerability rarely seen. The soft click of the car door as Lacey exits, leaving him alone, is a profound moment of quiet despair, proving that even the sharpest knives can't cut through personal anguish. The metallic taste of regret must be all too familiar for someone in his line of work. Troubled by his decision to leave Sandra, Barney seeks out Toole, the team's wise, if cynical, oracle. In the dim, comforting glow of the tattoo parlor, amidst the low hum of equipment, Toole recounts a poignant story from his own past. He speaks of a woman he once failed to save, a regret that has clearly haunted him for years. His voice, usually gruff, takes on a softer, more reflective tone, the words resonating with a deep, emotional truth. The story serves as a subtle, yet powerful, nudge for Barney, a reminder that some lines, once crossed, leave indelible scars, not just on the body, but on the soul. The soft brush of Toole's hand as he finishes a tattoo accentuates the quiet intensity of their conversation, driving home the moral imperative that Barney now feels so acutely. It's a rare moment of philosophical introspection in a movie usually defined by explosions. Armed with Toole's wisdom and his own simmering conscience, Barney makes his decision. He will go back for Sandra. His face, usually a mask of stoicism, now carries a grim determination. The silent click of a phone being picked up signifies the turning point. This isn't just a mission anymore. It's a personal crusade. The low murmur of his voice as he starts making calls, gathering resources, sets the wheels of the Expendables machine back in motion. The rhythmic thud of his boots as he moves purposefully around his office, readying himself, speaks volumes. He's no longer just a mercenary. He's a man with a moral compass, even if it took a few explosions and a heartfelt story to calibrate it. This time, the stakes are higher, the resolve stronger, and the bad guys are about to learn what happens when an expendable gets truly annoyed. Barney rallies the entire Expendables crew, Hale Caesar, Toll Road, Yin Yang, and Lee Christmas, informing them of his decision to return to Vilena. There's a quiet understanding among them. They're family, and family sticks together, even for seemingly suicidal missions. But then, a truly unexpected moment, Gunner Jensen, patched up and with a genuine look of remorse, returns. He offers a heartfelt, albeit gruff, apology to Barney. The sharp intake of breath from the other team members is almost audible. Barney, ever pragmatic and understanding the value of a capable, if unstable, fighter, accepts him back into the fold. The clatter of gear being prepared, the low hum of their discussions, and the renewed sense of unity fill the air. The Expendables are back, fully assembled and ready to unleash a world of hurt on Vilena. Before any good action movie assault, there's always the satisfying montage of weapon prep. The scene becomes a symphony of metallic clicks, whirs, and subtle clatters. Close-ups show expert hands loading magazines with a practiced efficiency, the satisfying thunk of a new clip sliding into place. Scopes are adjusted with precision, blades are honed to a razor's edge with a faint shing sound, and the heavy mechanisms of Hale Caesar's massive shotgun are checked with a deep, resonant clack. It's a ballet of destruction, showcasing the sheer firepower and the individual specialties of each team member. The air crackles with anticipation, a collective readiness for the storm they are about to unleash. This isn't just packing heat, it's curating a personalized arsenal of pain. Under the cloak of a moonless night, the Expendables' imposing C-130 cargo plane slices through the sky, its engines a low, barely audible hum. The vast expanse of the ocean below glimmers faintly, reflecting the distant stars. Inside, the team is silent, the only sounds the quiet rustle of their combat gear and the rhythmic sway of the aircraft. Their faces, illuminated by the faint glow of the cockpit instruments, are grim and determined. It's a calculated, stealthy approach, the calm before the storm. The anticipation is palpable, each man mentally preparing for the chaos they are about to willingly dive into. This is the moment of no return, the slow, methodical descent into a battle they've chosen to fight, not for money, but for something far more valuable. The plane descends silently, its ramp opening to reveal the inky blackness of the Vilena jungle below. One by one, the Expendables rappel down ropes, landing softly on the forest floor, their movements fluid and practiced. The only sounds are the rustle of leaves and the soft thump of their boots. Night vision goggles cast a green glow over their faces as they navigate the dense undergrowth, communicating with silent hand signals. Every snapped twig, every rustle in the bushes is a potential threat, heightening the tension. They are ghosts in the jungle, moving with predatory grace towards Garza's compound, the air thick with the humid scent of damp earth and the metallic tang of anticipated conflict. This is the quiet before the absolute storm, a brief moment of calm before all hell breaks loose. The moment of truth arrives as the team reaches the heavily fortified outer perimeter of Garza's compound. Indeed, there's a brief, tense pause, punctuated only by the distant squawking of jungle birds. Then, Toll Road, the demolition expert, moves with a surgeon's precision, attaching C4 charges to a strategic section of the wall. The quiet clicks of the detonator are almost lost in the humid air. Fire in the hole? Comes the gruff warning, and then boom! A thunderous explosion rips through the night, tearing a gaping hole in the compound wall. Debris rains down with a loud clatter, and the ground trembles under the sheer force of the blast. The ensuing chaos is their cue. The Expendables charge through the smoke and dust, automatic weapons blazing, announcing their arrival in the most unsubtle way possible. Subtlety, after all, is for spies, not for a team that literally blows holes in walls. The compound instantly transforms into a maelstrom of gunfire and shouts. The Expendables advance, a relentless force of destruction. Hale Caesar, wielding his monstrous shotgun, unleashes a torrent of lead, each booming crack echoing through the night as enemy soldiers are tossed aside like ragdolls. Toll Road sets off smaller, tactical charges, sending bursts of dirt and shrapnel flying, disorienting their foes. The incessant chatter of machine guns mixes with the sharp thwacks of Lee Christmas's knives finding their marks. The air is thick with the metallic scent of gunpowder and the acrid smell of burning structures. It's a chaotic ballet of bullets and brutal efficiency, a symphony of destruction designed to overwhelm and dismantle Garza's forces with extreme prejudice. Because when you need something subtle done, you call a team that arrives in a gigantic armed plane. Naturally dot in the midst of the escalating battle, Hale Caesar truly shines, proving why he's the team's designated heavy hitter. With his formidable AA-12 shotgun, he transforms into a one-man wrecking crew. The deep, guttural roar of the shotgun as it expels a continuous stream of rounds is deafening. Enemy soldiers are not just shot. They are blown away, tossed backwards with bone-jarring impact. The dull thud of their bodies hitting the ground is almost secondary to the sheer, concussive force of Caesar's firepower. He moves through the chaos with an almost serene focus, each pull of the trigger sending a wave of destruction, painting the walls with splatters of whatever was in his way. It's a primal display of brute force, a reminder that sometimes the best solution is simply more bullets, faster, amidst the cacophony of explosions and gunfire. Yin Yang moves like a blur, a whirlwind of fists and feet. His martial arts prowess is on full display as he effortlessly navigates through enemy ranks, delivering precise, bone-crunching blows. The sharp crack of a kick connecting with a jaw, the swift whoosh of his limbs, and the satisfying thwack of a punch tell a story of lethal grace. He ducks under enemy fire, spins, and counters with lightning speed, turning their own momentum against them. It's a mesmerizing dance of death, proving that sometimes skill and agility can be just as devastating as heavy ordnance. He's like a deadly, gravity-defying ninja, but with more shouting and much less stealth, because let's face it, stealth isn't really the Expendables' primary mode of operation, while others are busy shooting. Toll Road is busy making sure things go boom in a very strategic way. He's the maestro of mayhem, moving through the compound, quietly but efficiently placing C4 charges in critical locations. The soft click of the detonator is often followed by a localized, yet powerful, explosion that rips through a support beam, brings down a section of wall, or sends a guard tower crumbling with a deafening crash. The resulting plumes of dust and debris add to the confusion, creating perfect diversions and collapsing escape routes for the enemy. He's not just blowing things up. He's orchestrating a symphony of structural failure, the rhythmic thud and shatter of collapsing buildings a testament to his explosive expertise. It's truly a beautiful thing to witness. If you're into that sort of destructive art, when Lee Christmas steps into the fray, the air practically hums with a silent, deadly energy. He's a whirlwind of steel, his hands moving with incredible speed and precision. The sharp swish of a knife being drawn, followed by the soft thwack as it finds its mark, is his signature. He doesn't just fight. He dances through the chaos, dispatching enemies with ruthless efficiency, each throw and stab a testament to his mastery. The metallic glint of his blades flashing under the compound lights is the last thing many of Garza's soldiers ever see. It's brutal, effective, and strangely mesmerizing to watch, a true testament to the elegance of violence. Forget guns. Give this man a handful of sharp objects, and he'll clear a room faster than a bad Yelp review, just when things are looking particularly grim for Barney, a familiar. Imposing figure crashes back into the scene. It's Gunner Jensen, and this time, he's on their side. With a guttural roar, he lunges forward, saving Barney from a flanking enemy soldier with a brutal, bone-jarring strike. The dull thud of the enemy collapsing is followed by a brief, knowing glance between Barney and Gunner. The unspoken apology and acceptance pass between them in a flash. Gunner, now fully back in the fold, unleashes his pent-up aggression on the enemy, his wild-firing now a welcome, if still slightly chaotic, addition to their overwhelming firepower. It's a classic redemption arc, proving that even the biggest screw-ups can find their way back to the good guys. Especially when there are more things to blow up. With Gunner back and the team united, the Expendables truly become an unstoppable force. They converge, forming a tight, impenetrable unit, each man covering the other. The symphony of destruction intensifies, a coordinated barrage of automatic weapons fire, booming shotgun blasts, and precise knife throws. The air becomes a haze of smoke and spent casings, the ground trembling under the continuous impact. Waves of Garza's soldiers are simply mowed down, their shouts turning to gurgles as they face the combined might of these seasoned killers. It's a beautiful, terrifying display of tactical proficiency and sheer, unadulterated firepower. The metallic clang of their weapons reloading in unison signals that this fight is far from over, and the Expendables are just getting warmed up. The battle rages onward as the Expendables systematically clear out the compound, room by brutal room, corridor by bloody corridor. The rhythmic crack 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 of gunfire echoes down hallways, interspersed with the sickening thud of bodies hitting the ground. They move with an almost surgical precision, breaching doors with explosive charges or heavy boots, immediately engaging any threats within. Close quarters combat is fast and furious, a blur of fists, elbows, and sharp blades. The shouts of their enemies are often cut short by the swift, decisive action of the team. Each cleared room is a small victory, pushing them closer to General Garza and Munroe. The constant metallic scent of blood and gunpowder a grim reminder of their brutal task. Barney, ever the leader, finds himself isolated, facing a formidable group of Munroe's elite soldiers. It's a raw, brutal display of his fighting prowess. The sharp crack of his pistol rings out, each shot finding its mark, but when he runs out of ammo, he seamlessly transitions to brutal hand-to-hand combat. The meaty thud of his punches, the satisfying crunch of bones, and the desperate grunts of his opponents fill the air. He's a force of nature, a one-man army, deflecting blows, delivering bone-jarring kicks, and utilizing environmental elements to his advantage. The metallic taste of adrenaline must be coursing through his veins as he battles relentlessly, his unwavering determination pushing him through the exhaustion. It's not pretty, but it's effective, and it reminds everyone why he's the guy in charge. The long-awaited showdown arrives as Lee Christmas finally faces off against Payne, Munroe's monstrously powerful enforcer. It's a clash of titans, a brutal, bone-jarring dance of death. Payne, a mountain of muscle, delivers crushing blows with the force of a battering ram, each punch landing with a sickening thud. Christmas, agile and lethal, weaves and dodges, countering with blindingly fast knife strikes and precise kicks. The sharp shing of his blades against Payne's leather vest, the grunts of exertion, and the heavy impact of their bodies colliding create a visceral symphony of violence. It's a testament to Christmas's skill that he can even stand against such raw power, constantly looking for the opening, the weak point in this seemingly unstoppable force. The metallic tang of exertion hangs heavy in the air. General Garza, the dictator who was merely a puppet, finds himself utterly abandoned and exposed. His bluster and authority crumble under the sheer force of the Expendables' assault. There's no grand battle for him, just a swift, brutal, and delivered by the team. The sharp crack of a decisive shot, or perhaps the swift slice of a blade, brings his tyrannical reign to an abrupt halt. His desperate shout is cut short, replaced by the dull thud of his body. It's a stark reminder that in the world of the Expendables, there's no room for middlemen. The metallic scent of his fear seems to dissipate with his demise, leaving a momentary silence in the immediate area, a small victory in the grand scheme of chaos. His expendable status is made painfully clear. Amidst the smoldering wreckage and the lingering scent of gunpowder, Barney's focus narrows. He frantically searches for Sandra, calling her name over the lingering crackle of small fires. The fear that he might be too late, that all this destruction might have been for naught, is palpable. He pushes aside debris, his eyes scanning every shadow until, finally, he spots her. She's alive, shaken but unharmed, her face streaked with dirt and terror. The soft murmur of his voice as he reassures her is a stark contrast to the violence that just unfolded. The metallic tang of fear in the air slowly gives way to a glimmer of hope. It's a moment of quiet triumph amidst the absolute chaos. A reminder of the true reason for their return to this hellish island, with Sanders safely secured. The Expendables make their final push to escape the crumbling compound. The remaining enemy soldiers, desperate and enraged, unleash a final barrage of gunfire. Bullets ping off cover points with a sharp metallic clang, and explosions continue to rock the very ground beneath them. The team forms a defensive perimeter around Sandra, their combined firepower laying down a relentless suppressive fire as they sprint towards their extraction point. The shouts of "Go! Go! Go!" echo through the smoke-filled air, interspersed with the continuous roar of their weapons. It's a race against time, not just against the remaining enemy, but against the very collapse of the compound around them. The dull thud of their boots on the debris-strewn ground signifies their relentless charge towards freedom. In the aftermath of the epic assault, as the dust settles and the fires burn themselves out, Barney meets with Sandra for a final, poignant farewell. He hands her a bag of money, not as payment, but as a silent promise, resources for her to rebuild her life and her country. The soft rustle of the bills inside the bag is a subtle counterpoint to the quiet understanding that passes between them. There's a lingering gaze, a silent acknowledgement of the bond forged in fire and blood. He came to kill, but left a savior, a rare departure from his usual detached professionalism. The gentle brush of her hand as she takes the bag, a moment of gratitude and respect, leaves an indelible mark. It's a reminder that even the hardest hearts can be touched by a cause greater than themselves. With Vilena saved and their mission accomplished, the Expendables return to their spiritual home, a raucous bar, filled with the clinking of glasses, the murmur of laughter, and the satisfying thud of thrown knives. It's a joyous, if slightly chaotic, celebration of brotherhood and survival. Lee Christmas, ever the showman, engages in a friendly knife-throwing competition, his blades whizzing through the air with a soft whoosh before embedding themselves with a satisfying thwack. The team jokes, drinks, and revels in their shared victory. The camaraderie palpable. It's a reminder that beneath the explosions and bullet sprays, these men are a family, united by a dangerous profession and an unbreakable bond. As we wrap up this journey through the Expendables, remember that sometimes the simple act of blowing things up for the right reasons, or just because you can be truly inspiring. It speaks to the raw, visceral power of action cinema and the enduring appeal of heroes who don't always play by the rules. Their brand of justice, while explosive, often hits exactly where it needs to. And sometimes, you just need a movie where the good guys win with a mountain of spent shell casings and a grin. Until next time, keep those action gears turning.